welcome in to another edition of College Hockey Southwest Weekly. Not Tom Callahan next to me, but Andrew Bell is here. Tom's out with a minor injury. He's on the IR with a back injury, but Andrew Bell is in, and Andrew knows college hockey like the rest of us. So, Andrew, first of all, welcome.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it, and glad to feel, or not glad, but thank you for having me on
you're
the show.
Glad, you're glad.
I think glad. I hope Tom's all right, but glad to fill in on the show. So thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Well, I spent the weekend in Vegas scouting some opponents for us in North Dakota and Minnesota. Minnesota, of course, is on the schedule for the 1st and 2nd of March, the last series of the season, regular season. But you had a chance to see these guys play and sweep the University of Nebraska Omaha. And first of all, give me your thoughts, Andrew.
Well, I thought it was a pretty good weekend just for the team overall. Obviously, Johnny Walker on Saturday had just tore it up. Started calling that circle Walker Circle with the way Demetrius Kumonzis was feeding them. And they overall just played a really well-rounded weekend. The seniors played really well as well. Friday night was Anthony Croston's night. And Dylan Holman and that line, as they've been doing all year, played really well together. So overall, just a really well-rounded weekend. A lot of guys put up points. A lot of guys put up numbers. And like I said, just a really good performance, and that's perfect leading up to a series against a Penn State team who just moved up in those USCHO rankings. So
absolutely. Well, we talk about the college hockey Southwest, right? And the Arizona State Sun Devils are right now the only NCAA team out there, and they're starting to make some waves. I mean, even in Vegas and North Dakota, Minnesota, people were asking me if they were for real. Is this real or is it a mirage? What is it? So there's some noticing going on, but let's talk specifically about Johnny Walker. He's now number 1 in points and number 1 in goals scored in NCAA hockey with 8 goals and 13 points. So pretty impressive start for Johnny, right?
yeah, definitely, and I think he touched on it the other night when he was speaking on the media after the game, but he obviously has a great shot, and he's able to just pick his corners. That was pretty exemplary the other night against Omaha, as he was just picking corners and dangerous on that circle. But it's the other guys around him who I think make him a really good player. The addition of talented players like Demetrius Kumonzis, even other guys like Jordan Sandu, PJ Morocco, and he's played really well with Brett Gruber. They make him just that much better. Kumonzis had all of his assists on Walker's goals the other night. He was like the quarterback of that system, just dropping passes on his tape, going across ice. So I think he's really just reaping the benefits of some of this new talent that comes in, and you see what happens when you give him some guys to play with and make some plays with. He's putting up a lot of numbers, and I don't expect him to slow down anytime soon. So he's off to a really good start, and I think it's because of those other guys that have really helped him out.
Well, it's only week 5 coming up this weekend in the season, but I've already started the Johnny for Hobie campaign. So if there's anybody that deserves to be the Hobie Baker winner this year, at least early in the season, Johnny Walker is it. So let's start the promotion and get things rolling.
Yeah, I definitely could see him up for the Hobie candidate. I mean, he's been that good. There's a reason he's leading the country right now, and like I said, I don't expect him to stop anytime soon. And it's what happens when you bring a guy like that into your program. Just an absolute goal scorer and a talent like that. Hopefully, I'll see if he can continue to produce, but he's off to a good start right now. So
on the other end of the ice, we got Joey Decord in the nets, and Joey now is number 1 in wins, obviously with 6 wins this season. Played all the minutes, right? We haven't seen anybody else in net. He's in the top 10 in a couple other categories in goals against and the save percentage. So with strong goaltending, good offense, usually leads to wins, and that's what we're seeing, right?
Yeah, definitely. Joey Decord, I think his workload's gone down a lot, and he's a workhorse last year, obviously, facing sometimes 40, 50 shots a night. Comes to mind last year was that Penn State series, facing a lot of shots on net, but this year the defensemen in front of him have done a really good job. He's being able to see a lot of his shots, which I think last year wasn't the case as much, but the defense core in front of him has done a really good job, and you're starting to see those benefits as well, just how good he can be when he has a limited shot role and only facing 20 to 30 shots a night. So he's played really well this year. He's the backbone of this team, and he's going to keep him in hockey games when things get a little crazy, but he's done a really good job this year, and I expect that to continue as well.
Before we jump in with our first guest, Andrew, I want to throw this out and let you tell us, you're the heartbeat of state press at Arizona State, right? What's happening at Arizona State? Is the hockey team starting to get a little buzz right now, or what's happening on campus?
I definitely think it's starting to create a little buzz. off to the best start in program history, obviously. The team's playing really well, starting to catch some national attention, 20 votes in the USCHO poll this last week. They're just, starting to come together and everything's starting to click, and I think as the years go on and even beyond this year, it's just going to continue to grow more. You have the new arena coming up, that's only going to help, and so the overall, just mood around this program is really great, and I think it's only going to continue to get better throughout not only this year, but the next couple of years with some of the talent that's come into this ASU team and onto the ice. So it should be fun, and like I said, the rest of the year is going to be a blast as well.
All right, Andrew, we'll take a quick break. We'll bring in our first guest, Mr. Jody Hodgson from the University of North Dakota. Ralph Engelstad Arena is going to visit with us for a little bit, talking U.S. Hockey Hall of Fame, and then we'll be back to wrap things up.
Awesome. Thank you for having me.
Into another edition of College Hockey Southwest Weekly. We're spending the week up here in Vegas. It's Hockey Week in Vegas, and the man behind this whole presentation up here, the Hall of Fame game, the U.S. Hockey Hall of Fame game between North Dakota and Minnesota. Jordy, welcome in.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Well, this is a big event. You guys have been planning this for a couple of years now, and from everything I've seen this week, it's been a huge success. So tell me about it.
Yeah, it's been a great event. When we made the decision to come play a college hockey game in Las Vegas, we were certainly hoping to create a memorable sports experience for our student athletes and our program. Certainly looking to try and build our fan base and build our national brand as a college hockey program. So we think it's been a great success, and look forward to the rest of the game here.
Well, of course, the North Dakota big benefactor, Ralph Engelstad, made a good living here in Vegas and supports your program for a long time, right?
Yeah, that was sure an important piece of the puzzle for us. Mr. and Mrs. Engelstad have been in Las Vegas a long time, and they've just been absolutely fantastic. You can't measure the importance to our hockey program, and the opportunity to bring a game to them in their community was really something that was important to us.
Talk a little bit about the North Dakota fan base. I mean, they showed up in Groves today. I was up to the tailgate. It's big time, isn't it?
Yeah, it's awesome. We got the best fans in the country. They're just so loyal and so supportive. They travel far and wide to support the program that they love, and just can't say enough about how important they are and how special they are and how unique they are.
So when you guys started this back in 2016 and planned the event, knew it was going to be played here at the Orleans and everything, and then all of a sudden hockey exploded in Vegas, didn't it?
Yeah, it changed. For sure. It was rather unique. We probably started talking about the event about 4 years ago and started some of those discussions, and it looks like the landscape has changed significantly in a relative short period of time in Las Vegas. So we're really excited to be here, and it's great to see the growth of the game in this part of the country, and we hope that translates to greater youth numbers and participation at all levels. So fantastic thing for the game of hockey.
Tell us a little bit about how this all got started, the logistics of it all. You guys are putting on the whole show down here, and you brought everything down from North Dakota to do it, including the TV broadcast, right?
Yeah, we did. You know what? It was probably 5 or 6 years ago, we started taking games to some neutral sites. We went to Winnipeg, which is a good recruiting market for us. Played Clarkson there. Played Omaha in an outdoor game in Omaha at the baseball stadium where they have the College World Series. Went to Madison Square Garden a couple of years ago, and I think you'll see us do this on an alternating year basis or on an infrequent basis. But if we're going to try and attract the best student athletes in the country, we want to be able to tell them that they're going to have great life experiences and great opportunities to play on the biggest stages against the best opponents in the biggest markets in the country. So it fits nicely with what we're trying to do.
Well, Jody, down here we have the Arizona State Sun Devils, and they're off to a fairly good start this year. They're 5-2-0 and leading UNO, I think 3-0 right now as we speak. So I know they're looking forward to playing you guys someday. Is that something in the works?
You know what? There's nothing in the works there at this point, but certainly that's going to be a great opponent wherever they end up or wherever they land and whatever conference they end up in. It's great to see the growth of the hockey spreading across the country, and certainly we wish them nothing but the best with their program. Exciting news to hear that they seem to be on track to get a building of their own and really lay the foundation for their hockey program.
let's wrap things up, but you tell me a little bit about the folks here at New Orleans and what they've done with this building and this whole event.
Yeah, we think it's a great building for college hockey. It's great size. The energy in there tonight is fantastic. The staff have worked really hard to try and accommodate us. It's been challenging for them as well. It's been 5 or 6 years since they played a hockey game in here, so that brings its own unique set of challenges. But they've really worked hard, and they've been a great partner for us and really helped us create the type of event atmosphere and event experience that we sought to create for our players and our fans.
Well, we came down here to put Hockey Week in Vegas. We had no idea when this event was coming in that you were going to have a couple of Vegas Golden Knights games around it. UNLV played at the club level last night. A big Can-Am Bantam tournament going on in Vegas. So it typically is very nice to see hockey in Vegas explode.
Yeah, it's hockey weekend in Vegas, so it's really exciting to see it spread across the country, and we're very happy to be here.
Joe Mr. thanks for your time and appreciate it, and continue up the success in North Dakota.
Thank you very much.
All right, welcome into another edition of College Hockey Southwest Weekly. I've got the #1 goal scorer and the #1 guy in points in NCAA hockey with me. He's from Phoenix, Arizona, playing right here at Arizona State. Johnny Walker, welcome in.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You and I have talked for a couple of years now, right? You won a Clark Cup at Chicago with the Chicago Steel. You got to come here and play where I think is your dream school, right? You wanted to come to ASU all along.
Oh yeah.
Tell me what it's been like a year and a half into this journey.
It's been awesome. It's an honor to be a Sun Devil and get to build a program like this and help set the foundation for what's to come. And I'm excited for the future.
You know, you and I talked this summer right after you came back from the Columbus camp, and I talked about what that did for your game. I mentioned it with Coach Powers earlier today. He said, I'm not giving too much credit to the Blue Jackets. I'm giving the credit to Johnny Walker because I think he's done it on his own.
Yeah.
How much was that camp a part of making you who you are right now?
It was good. It was exciting to see where I'm at compared to other players and what it's going to take to make that next jump and that next step. But really focused on what's going on here, and a lot of credit goes to the coaching staff and Greg Powers and the opportunity I've been given here and all the resources I have to be the player that I am right now and to continue to grow into what I can be.
Have you seen anything different from last season to this season now that you're putting the puck in the net more frequently? Are other teams starting to key on you yet, or have they not been able to stop you?
I think there's some nights where I think that I attract a bit of attention, but that's going to happen, and you kind of take it as something you should be proud of, that teams are looking to shut you down, and it's kind of you versus them, a little personal battle, and try to get it done regardless of what they're doing. So no matter what they do, I'm gonna stick and play to my game and play the way I need to play to be successful.
So how early on in this season did you realize that your power play was going to be special?
Yeah, we added an extra piece with Demetrius. Obviously a great player, great playmaker. We had a lot of success, obviously Saturday night, but that our second power plays had a lot of success too, which I think that we struggled with last year. It was kind of up to our first power play, and I was on the second power play, so not a great start to the year for our power play. But this year we have two power plays that are equally as lethal, and it's good that when after the first minute you have another power play, another 5 guys that can be just as dangerous. So they've been successful, and we're just going to keep working to improve that every week.
So I watch you set up on the power play. You get into what we call the OV zone. Is that something you're purposely trying to get to, that spot on the ice? Do you like that spot on the ice? Is it just something that's happening?
No, yeah, we that's obviously every team has a setup, and you know he we talk about maybe Ovechkin, that's his spot and everything. I'd still say it's Ovi's spot.
You haven't taken it away yet?
Until I'm making $11 million a year, I think it's safe to say that that's his spot. Obviously, it's a very special player, and I'm just standing there. I'm definitely no Alexander Ovechkin. So,
well, you're being way too modest in the first part of it, because I've seen your skill. I told you earlier this year, and you laughed at me, but I said you're going to be a 30-goal scorer. I told your dad you're going to be a 30-goal scorer. 8 games, 8 goals, 38 games in the season before we get you into the tournament. What do you think?
Yeah, like I told you, I focus one game at a time. Right now, it's on Friday night at Penn State. Hicksy tells me all the time you can't hang a hat on a game or a weekend. So put last weekend behind me. Fortunate that I had the success that I did and that we did as a team. And right now we're just focused on beating Penn State.
I think I know the answer to this, but as you start to move east and you guys continue to pile up wins, the media attention is going to start to get bigger. Are you ready for that?
Yeah, that's it's given. I think that's a big tribute to people writing us off at the beginning of the season, which is fine. We'll take that. If you don't believe in us, that's all right. We believe in each other and in ourselves. So we're not worried about what people say. That people call us a club team at the start of the season. So we're beating teams and we're putting up wins. So that's all that really matters is what's in our locker room. And to believe in us or not, but we're gonna go and we're gonna play the way that we can and the way that we should to try to come out with 2 wins in Penn State.
I'm going to knock on wood on this before I even ask the question, but you guys have stayed very healthy so far. Coach gives a lot of attention and a lot of praise to your new strength and conditioning coach. How important has that been for you guys, and has that been a big part in why you're not getting injured, or is it just a stroke of luck so far?
Yeah, obviously Leanne's great. She's always she's accommodating to what's going on and to specific player needs, and really flexible. So if anyone needs anything, she's always right there. It's unbelievable. It should be more about her schedule. She's a lot busier than we are, but whatever we need, it's automatic with Leanne, which is great. She's big on recovery too. So. Excuse me, we're really focused on staying healthy and fresh for the weekend. So, yeah, she's brought a few dynamics to my game that really opened my eyes and have helped this far. So,
Johnny, let's wrap things up with talking ASU sports in general. Herm Edwards came on board last year. He's infectious. The basketball team is loaded and ready to go here in the day, or tonight, I guess. Mm-hmm. The hockey team is building a national ranking. We already know about your other Olympic sports. What's it like to be a Sun Devil athlete right now?
Yeah, when I was growing up here, there were good years and some not so good years, and it's good to see that the whole athletic program is really growing in the right direction with our academic, all the options that are open academically, all the tutors, all the resources we have there. To the training side of it, there's not anything at this school that an athlete doesn't get if they want. If they need any extra training or any extra help academically, it's right there. And I think that's a direct result of the results you're seeing on the field. Is you can go to the rink or wherever, and you're focused on one thing, and that's being the athlete that you are. And because away from the rink, you're taken care of academically and athletically. So it's a phenomenal program, and like I said, it's an absolute honor to be a Sun Devil.
Johnny, appreciate your time. It's officially kicking off. Johnny for Hobie starts today.
Thank you.
Hey, hockey fans in the Desert Southwest. Ice Time Hockey Southwest is officially bark approved. All right, we're back to wrap up another edition of College Hockey Southwest Weekly. Andrew Bell is still with me. Andrew, I'm making you stay a little late today, but it's worth it, right, when you got a team playing this well?
Oh, definitely. I'll always take time to talk about hockey. It's what I like to do best. It's fun talking about hockey, and so I don't have a problem at all. Thank you for having me on again.
So here in our makeshift studio at Oceanside Ice Arena, it's getting a little
Beautiful.
cool out there, right?
Oh yeah, it's freezing right now, but yeah, our beautiful studio within Oceanside Ice Arena. It's top notch, just like the Sports Center studios.
Exactly. Let's talk a little bit about the other teams in college hockey. The number one team in the country now is my alma mater at Minnesota Duluth, and they earned a couple of tough wins against Notre Dame, which I don't think surprised anybody, but Notre Dame's a good team as well, aren't they?
Yeah, Notre Dame's a good hockey club. You know, I watched them play a couple weeks ago against UNO, and just a really solid team. And it's just the little things with them. You never see them really turn the puck over, breaking out of their own zone. They're really solid as well. So a very good hockey team. And for Minnesota Duluth to knock them out twice, I thought was really a statement. I thought that would be a series split between those two schools. Pretty tight games both nights. I believe Friday was a 1-goal game and Saturday was a 2-goal game. So for them to be able to come out with 2 wins, I think says something about Minnesota Duluth, a little bit of an early statement. I know still a lot of hockey left to be played, but an early statement at the beginning of the year for sure.
And for Arizona State, we talked earlier about them going to Penn State, but after that they're going to come back and get Michigan State right here. So it doesn't get any easier in this toughest schedule in NCAA hockey, does it?
Yeah, the Big Ten is definitely something ASU's going to see a lot of. Already seen Ohio State. You're going to see Penn State this weekend, Michigan State after that. I was talking on just for our broadcast the other night on Pac-12 Plus, but ASU football already got it done against Michigan State this year. We'll see if they can do it against hockey. Like I said, those are really tough opponents. That conference is really tough. You see Ohio State going the Frozen Four last year, and it seems like every year they have a team possibly going to the Frozen Four at the end of the year. So just bigger the opponents, the better ASU's going to get, because that high caliber competition is only going to make them better. So we'll see what happens. Should be fun.
So speaking of high caliber competition, what do the Sun Devils have to do this weekend to stop Penn State?
I think Coach Pyers has said it before, but stay out of the box. I think that's always the biggest key. It's even more put under a microscope when you're on the road. It's one thing when you're at home and you're on your home rink and it's a little different atmosphere, but when you're on the road, I think staying out of the box, staying disciplined is really a big key. And then just keep the power play rolling, I'd say. I think Penn State, if they've scouted at all, or if they've seen any of the stats, they know number 7 is going to be a guy who looks to score. I think they're going to have someone marked on him at all times, try to limit his shots. So it might be other guys who are coming up with goals, who are coming up in big moments. So I think that power play and finding other areas to score aside from Johnny Walker is going to be a big key, along with staying disciplined. I think on that end, Joey Decord, I could use that as a key, but I think he's going to show up ready to play regardless.
Always does.
Yeah, always does. He's the backbone of the team, as mentioned earlier on the show, but I think he's definitely going to show up ready to play, and I think it should be a good series. I'll give you my prediction now, but I'm expecting a series split between the 2 games, so we'll see what happens.
I think we'll take it. We'll take it, right?
What do I know? We'll see what happens.
Andrew, thanks for your time. I want to thank our guest today, Jody Hodgson from the Ralph Engelstad Arena, and of course Johnny Walker from right here at ASU Sun Devils, and my pitch for Johnny for Hobie.
Definitely, and like I said, thank you again for having me today. Appreciate it.